Well, here I am at Aberdeen Airport, and in this video we are going to be heading off to Italy.
So the plan this morning was to catch a KLM flight to Amsterdam Airport and then a connecting flight to Milan. This was going to be an 8-day holiday where we would be going on a tour of Verona and also the Dolomite Mountains.
This is the queue for passport control. So this is the queue, and we are most of the way to the E-gates, and those people who know Schiphol Airport will know that the passport control's at the D-gate. So we made it through passport control. We were in the short connection thing. So we are at Milan Linate, C18. Well, I've travelled through Schiphol Airport many times, but that was the worst passport queue I've seen. They were all the way back to the E-gates, and those people will know that, or will know it's not very good. There is a short connection lane, and that's what we use, but they only call people forwards half an hour before your gate departs, and it feels quite tight. So it's now 10 o'clock, our flight is at 10:20, and you know, I'm going to have to say I'm not too impressed. Yep. If I go to other airports, in particular Singapore Airport, which I went to just 3 weeks ago, everything is completely automated in terms of passport control, and there's no queuing. To get from the plane to the taxi rank, including bad pickup, that was 20 minutes. But here, you just are rolling the dice as to how long it's going to take.
We made our flight at gate C18 just as the gate was closing. Very lucky. If you're in gate B, you might not be so fortunate. Question for you guys. Is it faster to go through Schengen control here when the queue is this long all the way to the E-gate? Or is it faster to take one of these passport control lanes, entering the Netherlands, go through the baggage collection area, through check-in, and then through security to enter the Schengen departure lounges? I'd be interested in your thoughts. I want to talk about public transport options to get from Linate Airport to the central railway station, which is where we're going. 3 basic options. You can use public transport. That ticket will cost you €2.20 per person for 90 minutes of validity from Linate Airport. This is the cheapest option, not necessarily the most practical option, taking luggage down lots of steps in metro stations, but it will do the job. Next cheapest option is a direct bus shuttle service to Central Station. That leaves once an hour. It costs €7 per person. Final option is the taxi, and the taxi will cost you about €35-ish. So let's look at the public transport app. ATM Milano, that's what you want. You can set up an account on this app, but if you don't want to use the app for whatever reason, you can also tap in and tap out using your debit or credit card if it's a Visa or MasterCard. In this instance, if I go to buy here and then you go to tickets, you can get a 90-minute ticket here. That's useful if you want to buy 2 tickets for 2 people. In my example, my partner gets charged a fee for using her credit card abroad. We've got taxis, so you can use WeTaxi. This is an app you can download. It's linked to Apple Pay. If I allow it once, you can summon a taxi. You can also book a taxi for later, and you can pay in advance a maximum guaranteed price, which I found to be about 30-ish euros from a suburb of Milan to Linate Airport. So the final option I want to talk about is taking the train from Milan to Verona station. Lots of ways you can do it. Let's go on to Trainline. This is the easiest way in my experience. So we want to search trains from Milan Central to Verona. We want to depart, let's say for example, tomorrow. You have got a lot of options here, and this will use all of the train options that you have available. The fastest trains are the Freccia Rossa intercity trains, and then you have also got the Trenord, Trenitalia trains. Those are slower trains. So £11.70 is the cheapest one. That takes about an hour and 50 minutes, whereas the faster trains take about 1 hour and 15 minutes. In my experience, Trainline is the best option for people who are arriving by plane. The reason I say that is because the terms and conditions are more flexible. What do I mean by that? If we choose this one as an example, you can see that the ticket is fully exchangeable up until the departure time. Whereas if you buy tickets with Trenitalia, you will find that the ticket is only fully exchangeable the day before your departure. So if your plane's late, for example, you can exchange your ticket for a later time. And that's very useful indeed. One piece of advice is don't let the app choose your reservation seat. Choose it yourself, because in my experience, everybody gets shoved into carriage number 5 with a reservation, and you end up with a massive queue trying to get into carriage number 5 and lots of baggage being piled on top of each other. Choose another carriage and you will be a lot better off.
So this is where we stayed, Hotel Siena. This way for the train station, 12 minutes walk, and we're 10 minutes from the arena here, so it's a very convenient location. Right, well this is where our hotel room. It's a 2-star hotel, and it's been pretty decent. It's been our room for the night, for 2 nights. The temperature is 31 degrees, and it's late September now. It's 20th of September. It just feels very odd. I mean, I have been in Singapore just a few weeks ago, which isn't going on YouTube, but that's normal any time of the year. But here, it just feels odd for a European city to just be that warm. This seems to be the main focal point for Verona. It looks very bonny here. I'm gonna have to say, it's a very good first impression of Verona, given that it's like late afternoon, and the lights are starting to look pretty good, I think. So it's you know, the main square seems to be a very pretty place, very popular, that's for sure. We're just gonna have a further explore. Romeo and Juliet calling out to each other. Is this the actual place? I'm not too sure. No, they're both Juliet, so. Yeah. And we've got this church up ahead. It reminds me of one of the pillars of the Frauenkirche in Munich. So this is one of the open squares, lots of markets, stalls. So we see these bakeries here. They look pretty yummy, don't you think?
I fancy that one, the chocolate one.
You fancy that one? Maybe after our din-dins, what do you reckon? Well, it's 6 o'clock now. What have we got looking this way? Isn't that very pretty? So now it's Sunday morning and we're heading into town again. We had some lovely food last night. Pizza, and some of the best pizza we've had.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And if you've ever had Italian style pizza at home, chances are you've not had an Italian style pizza. The Italian pizzas, the genuine ones, the dough is something special that I've never seen in the UK. It really is lovely. Gelato as well here, really special here. You know, if you've had gelato in the UK, you haven't had gelato.
What did you have? Because you put chocolate in
It
your
was
cone,
chocolate biscuity thing.
But it was chocolate inside your cone as
It had
well.
chocolate inside the cone as well, but it was lovely. Here's the queue. So we got online tickets, and we just bought them using a QR code. So here we are. Hello there. Okay, thank you. So I think that's us in. Go up here? All right. They're big steps, aren't they, Rachel? So if you've got bad knees. Nearly here. Ah, so they do performances here. Yeah, you need to watch out here. It's quite tricky up here. There you go. So, a view from the top of the Colosseum. Very nice. So this is where the gladiators will come out, I guess. They emerge into the main arena and then fight to the death. I would say there wasn't so much to see as other places of interest to walk around. I still prefer the Munich residence, and to be honest, I really like the Priama Castle in Slovenia as well.
No, that was good.
It was good, you know, grand proportions definitely, but I think you see the best side of it on the outside, definitely. So this seems to be the entrance for the statue where Juliet stands on her balcony, and I think it's paid for entrance as well. Okay, so this is what the crowds get you. You can stand up there, and then you've got the statue of Juliet there. So we're taking a wander through the markets. Very good, Rachel. So here we are. This is the eastern side of the river, and on the other side there is a castle. There's two ways of getting up there. You can climb the steps, or you can take a funicular. And everywhere you look around here, it's just such a bonny place. I mean, this is the bridge we just walked over. It looks nicer when you're not on it, I have to say. But the nice archway that we walked through, that's great. So we're going to head off to a sanctuary on the top of a hill. And it's a 31-minute walk, and we take the back roads to get there. What do you think of the prices here?
I think they're good. They're much cheaper than back home, that's for sure.
It's quite reasonable. You go into supermarkets, or even just small markets. I think we turn left here, Rachel. Very reasonable prices. Takeaway food, quite decent. pizza last night, €8.
It was amazing.
Yeah. You know, I think we had 2 pizzas, glass of Prosecco, 3 Cokes,
Yeah.
and it was about €32, which honestly is not too bad. I mean, you can't even get a takeaway pizza these days for €8 at home.
You can't get a glass of Prosecco for €4.
No, no. Right. City walls, what do you reckon?
They're lovely.
Yeah. So ended up on this footpath here. Much quieter, away from the road. So we ended up on this road. Google Maps tells us to go that way, which I don't want to do. We're going to take these steps instead. We're at the top of the steps. So, Sanctuary of Our Lady. So this is the sanctuary right here. And then we've got this lovely view over the city of Verona. And honestly, there aren't too many tourists up here, and it's a great spot. So this is I think this is the Museum of Roman Archaeology, and there are 3 archaeology museums in Verona. We'll go to this one and pay attention. So we have this amphitheatre here, but let's follow these signs to the museum. This way.
Is it this way?
Yeah, I think it's this way. It's definitely got its ups and downs, that's for sure. So Rachel doesn't approve of the staircase.
Well,
So we're going to take the left. It's a very nice view. So all told, we spent a day and a half exploring Verona, and that is the perfect length of time with which to get a good introduction to this city. It's a little bit bigger than the city of Ljubljana, which we explored in June. But Monday came along and we were back to the train station, but we were not catching a train, we were catching a hire car. So we were with Sixt Hire Car and we rented Corsa in terms of our booking, but I'll show you what we actually got later on. What was our destination? Well, let's zoom out. We were heading north on the E45. Where were we going? Well, we were going to this valley here, the Val Gardena. And before we got to that valley, we stopped off at Bolzano. Now, one little remark to be made about the roads here. The motorways are toll roads, and you pick up a ticket when you enter the toll road at Verona, and you enter the ticket into the toll booth when you get off the motorway at Bolzano. That cost us about €11. So where were we off to in Bolzano? Well, we were off to a castle, and this was the castle we were going to, and I'll talk about that in a bit more detail. So this is what we rented. So it's now raining. We're going to the Messner Mountain Museum. So it's a good day for a rainy trip. Now, for a rainy day, this place is an absolute treat. The Messner Mountain Museum is one of 6 Messner Mountain Museums. Entry fee is €15 for one museum per adult. And I'm going to have to say, combining a mountain museum with a historical castle, I've never seen such a thing done before. But the result is very tasteful and very sensitive to both the historical artifacts of the castle and also the attributes of the topic of mountains in general. And there was very much a focus on Himalayan mountains in particular. That is what Reinhold Messner is famous for, after all. And I'll tell you something, it's definitely worth at least about 2 or 3 hours of your time here. Good appetit, Rachel.
yes, bon appetit. And Anthony's sticking to his normal fare, whereas I've been pushing the boat out.
Yes. So we are in the town of Ortisei, which is the first town going up to where we're staying, Val Gardena. So It's just a short wander around and also picking up some food. So here we are in Val Gardena. So that's where we're staying, Residence Garden. We'll give you a tour of the place that we're staying in later on. But as you can see, it's a skiing resort. So you've got cable car access straight up there. So let's take a wander into our hotel facilities. So, double room, very nice, very panelly, shall we say. And then bathroom, shower, even jacuzzi function if we want it. And then we get this. So that was all €240 for 2 nights. Okay, so new day, sunny, accident. That's hire car issues. Let's have a look where we are. We are back in Ortesi. We're going to be heading to Sicida.
Top tip, if you're going to Sicida on the cable car, don't park at the cable car. It costs you €2.80 per hour. Instead, park in the middle of town in one of the parking garages. It costs 50 cents per hour, and there is an escalator and a travelator taking you to the cable car station, and it only takes about 10 minutes. The cable car to Sicida, however, costs €52 per adult return. But that takes you up to 2,300 meters from where you can have a nice walk along the Sicida Ridge. But there is a problem. Let's go and take a further look.
So that's quite a nice view. So this is what the view is like from the top. Getting to...
People do paragliding.
yes. So going to the summit of Sicida. Very nice. So this is the ridge walk you can do. Seems to be reasonably well prepared. We've got these
Little blocks to get rid of it.
concrete blocks for getting a decent grip.
Which is
So you have to pay €5 to access the mountain footpath through here. So that's the first example I've seen of paid access in the mountains. We were supposed to go to the Faroe Islands last year, and in that country, in that archipelago, paid access for mountain hiking is become a recent phenomena where you pay something like 200 to 600 krona just for accessing a mountain path, and often the access fee only relates to 200 meters of somebody's private land. I think it goes to show that in Scotland, with the Land Reform Act that we have and the right of responsible access, we got it pretty good. And people in England as well, in the 1930s especially, they fought for that access. Now, I've been to Gibraltar earlier on this year. If you want to gain up access to the upper rock, you have to pay £30. Regardless of whether you want to see the sights, the tunnels and the caves which are on the rock, or whether you just want to walk your dog, £30 for non-residents. And I think it goes to show that the right of access to the mountains is a fragile thing, and there are people out there who don't want it to happen, and paying €5 is what they want you to do instead. And I think we have to be very vigilant against that in our own country. But that's the way the Italians have done it in this particular example, and it's a real shame. So we're going to be doing route 2B to Pira Longa. So that there is what you're paying for in terms of €5. So you get to there and you get your, I think we can call it the TikTok viewpoint. It's the place where all the social media influencers want to go. This is the other end of the pay for access trail. No turnstile here, but you've got free access to the TikTok view up there. So the further away you get from the cable car, the quieter the footpath becomes. Piece of rock sticking out of the ground at an awkward angle. Probably fell off from there at some point. Before we get there, we got a little mountain hut, Piralonga, with house sausage.
That all sounds lovely, but it's a bit early, isn't it?
It is quite early.
She would come back. She would carry on and come back.
We'll carry on, I
And
think
come
so.
back. That's it.
There's a bit of a scratch up that rock as well. Looks like you can scramble up to the top if you want to.
No thanks.
So here are the donkeys whilst we wait for our food. Hello there. Cheers, Rachel. So that's solar power in the mountains. So good amount of sunshine to be harvested up here. So heading back, you've got the option of going all the way back to the top station, but there are footpaths that we're going to take down to the middle station. So heading down to the middle station, we follow this track to this birak. So here we've got Ortesi way down there, nearly at the middle station.
Less busy.
So we get the gondola all to ourselves on the way back down.
But unfortunately, there's no bears. If we were in Lake Louise, we'd have grizzlies down there. We'd be taking pictures of them.
So the next day we finished staying at our hotel in this ski resort, and we were taking this road up to the Col di Fria and then across to Corvana, down to Araba, and then we ended up at this pass, Passos Falzarego. And what we were doing is doing a walk following, roughly speaking, the 2,100 meter contour line. We were aiming for this refuge hut here, but we only got as far as here before we decided we ran out of time. On the way back, we went over this high mountain pass. Let's take a look at that.
So it's the next day and we have checked out of Val Gardena. We are on our way to Cortina Amprezzo. So we are going to attempt a walk. It's a bit shifty, the weather, a bit drizzly, a bit cloudy, but what we have is a walk which goes just above the tree line, but with a lot of up and down. Full of World War I remnants, including this tunnel here. So now we follow this footpath here. It's completely level. It's got interesting bits coming up. So we have some chamois down here. So that's my first time seeing them in the wild. So up here you can see a tunnel cut into the rock face, and I thought we were going to be going in there, but that is not the case. So we are actually following a path which bypasses this tunnel. So the rain cleared some time ago, and then the mist returned and enveloped us. And now the mist is slowly shifting. It's starting to get blue sky now. So let's take a look over the Bilac. And there we are. Clear view down to the car park. So from the mountain pass you can take a cable car up to the summit, about 900 meters higher up. So we took the slalom run down and we see there is an app which you can download for a historical guide.
So with our hike for the day finished, we continued the 25 kilometers down this very windy road to the town of Cortina d'Ampezzo. And this is a very expensive town. I didn't realize it at the time of booking, except for the hotel prices. If you want to stay close to the middle of town, you're talking at least £500 a night. The high street is full of very expensive shops. We're not talking middle of the range shops here. We're talking top end. So we're talking Rolexes. We're talking about the likes of Prada and so on. Where was our hotel? It was at the end. It was right here, Al-Larin, and that was £431 for 3 nights. Let's go and take a look.
Well, this is the view from our hotel. This is it, Hotel Al-Larin. Let's go and take a walk in. As you can see, not the best in terms of noise on the outside. So this is our hotel room for 3 nights. So it's got a very small balcony. It's reasonably quiet in here, but it's pretty basic. So yes, it's also one of the best value hotels in Cortina.
So the next day we headed out of Cortina back up the pass that we came down the night before. We were heading for Cinque Torri, which is a group of very interesting tours. There is a cable car access if you want it. We didn't use it because of technical issues with the cable car. It takes an hour and 10 minutes to hike up from the bottom to up here. And then you can go to a second refuge hut and then you can walk around this mountaintop here and then walk back here before walking through the tours.
So here we are, Cinque Torri, new day. And we've got snow on the mountaintops. So this is the high station of the chairlift. Took an hour and 10 minutes to get up here hiking. So it's 19 euros one way, 25 euros return. I think we're going to be paying one way. So what we have over here, we have Cinque Torri, which is a fairly straightforward walk around, but I'm sure it's a challenging climb. Over here, looking further south, looking very majestic. Then there's a refuge hut up here, 2,450-ish meters. So we're coming up to the middle mountain station. This is 2,450-ish meters tall, 2,416 meters, and the temperature up here is 4 degrees Celsius. So all of this is melting. This mountain, 2,679 meters-ish, I think. So we've walked all the way around the mountain. We're going to head back down to the Cinque Torri cable car station. Follow these zigzags. You can see where we are supposed to end up over there. So now we're back on well-graded footpaths. So you can eat, have your food in here, and then emerge to a lovely view. Isn't that nice? You don't have to get too far from the restaurant before it starts to get a bit quieter. So now we've moved away from the crowds. Now these all look like giant blocks which have fallen off at some point. I imagine it happened a while ago and not yesterday, but interesting to see it up close. There aren't too many rock formations like this which I've seen in the UK. The closest example, but on a completely smaller scale, is the south top of the Cobbler. That's kind of what it reminded me of when I saw it from the station. But navigating around all of this, you've got a whole mass of jumbled rocks, and this kind of reminds me of the Quirang on the Isle of Skye.
I know that one looks like it could fall.
I'm thinking this one coming up, it looks a little bit like the Old Man of Storr.
It does, actually. That'd be a good pick.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a kind of landslip, shall we say.
Yeah.
The whole lot's just fallen off. And in many respects, that is just exactly what the Quirang in the Isle of Skye is. It's a giant landslip. And it ended up where those people are. But the map says, follow this way down. And this looks like it could be quite an interesting route. Where we squeeze ourselves between two massive pillars. That is just fascinating. So two massive rocks leaning against each other up there. This is the passage. And that's where we're walking in between literally two mountain blocks. I'm not just talking little blocks, we're talking absolutely enormous things. More mountains leaning on top of each other. And it looks like we've got some engineered walkways here to walk along. The whole thing's just completely jumbled. So Rachel,
Yes?
3 days hiking in the Dolomites so far.
Coolio.
So what is better landscape wise, not taking critters into account, what is better, Italian Dolomites or Canadian Rockies?
I still think the Canadian Rockies have got a wee bit of an edge.
A wee bit of an edge.
Yeah.
And then once you add the elk and the moose and the bears on top of it, then that...
Marmots and the pecans.
Oh, we
and
do have marmots here. We haven't seen them though.
the lynx.
I'm sure they have a lynx around here.
Oh, that's bonny. Look
Yeah.
at that.
So you think the Rockies have got the edge in terms of
Yeah.
landscape?
Just.
So I want to talk about this group of mountains up here. They are iconic. They are phenomenally busy. This is called Tresini di Lavorado. Cortina is down here. You take this public road up to here. You take this side road up to this lake. And then there is a road taking you up to a refuge hut at 2,350 meters where there is a big car park. This road here is a toll road. It's not just any other toll road. You can't just turn up and pay. No. You have to book it. It costs 40 euros to take your car up there. You have to book a reservation slot and you have to create an account for that reservation slot. You cannot just simply enter your name, your address, your credit card details, your email address and get in. No, you have to select your nationality in Italian. United Kingdom doesn't exist as a word in Italian, by the way. Neither does England, neither does Scotland, neither does Great Britain. Good luck finding it. You need an Italian cat tax code as well. I mean, it's astonishingly difficult. But we managed to make it happen. Once you've got a reservation, it's not refundable. It's not exchangeable for a different time. So if you find the weather is terrible, that's your money gone. We booked it. The weather forecast was excellent the previous night. We got there. We got to the car park. It was snowing. It was terrible weather. And we decided after an hour and a half of watching the snow accumulate around our car to go back down. So that is our experience of Tresini di Lavorado. But let's just hit this button here and scroll up here, that's what it's supposed to look like on a nice day. So the following day we drove back down to Verona from Cortina, and then we got straight on a train to Milan. The cost of the train was booked the night before, and it was £52 for both of us one way. I'm gonna have to say, the train ticket prices in Italy are very good value for money compared to what you get in Germany or indeed the United Kingdom. It's an excellent way to travel around the country.
We are at the Cortina guest house, which is a typical tenement building. And here is our ride. How do I do this? Open that light. Open that. Okay, let's get in. So this is our room for the last night. And very nice bathroom. And this is the view out to Milan. So this is the Cortina guest house. So I think one comment to say straight away is that if you want to use the metro, you do not have escalator access from street level. So not good with cases. So it's one thing to be mindful of. So we've got an app here. This is called ATM. So we've got 2 tickets. We're going to activate the first ticket. So we can scan that QR code. And then we'll activate the next ticket. Scan that QR code. And then we want line number 1. We are at Loreto. We want to go to Duomo. Yep, so we want Duomo. Go here. So here it is. There's our train. Looks busy. I think we just need to get on. Quick, like that. Take the exit this way, I guess. Wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. So this is what a Saturday evening looks like in Milan Square. Absolutely. I should have brought my big camera here. Well, the pigeons certainly seem to be fond of the lion, that's for sure.
That's beautiful, that square.
Yeah.
You should walk down it. You're allowed to walk in it.
Well, if you want to buy clothes here, they've got other shops other than the usual likes of Marks and Spencer's and Next. You can go to all of these places instead. I think you need a little bit more money, don't you? The next day, sadly, it was time to go back home again. It had been an excellent 8-day trip to Italy, and it was indeed my very first time to Italy. Thankfully, we arrived at Schiphol Airport, and passport control was a lot more relaxed affair. There was no queuing whatsoever, and I even found a few self-driving wheelchairs. Never seen that before. But uneventful trip back to Aberdeen, and then it was time to pick up my bag. Home sweet home. So that is the end of this holiday. As you can see, I'm in a long stay car park, and if I was to do this trip 1 week later, I would have had the option of using Ember buses, and they have now started offering
one-way tickets to Aberdeen Airport from my village for £4.50 one way, which is cheaper than dropping off a passenger in your own private vehicle at Aberdeen Airport. So that might be coming up in a future holiday. But in the meantime, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.